told you before, the aliens told me they are making me into a cyborg via my ethereal astral body and ethereal implants, my non-physical implants. I also told you one thing they are doing is giving me lucid dreams and virtual reality dreams. They've been doing this all my life, but I didn't awaken and pay attention until a few years ago. Then a female ET told me at the end of last March via my left ethereal ear implant that she and the aliens have been creating my various lucid and virtual reality dreams for me all my life. So basically, I've been the alien's little cyborg all my life. Another thing I told you was that they give me long, normal, daily life, intricate scenarios in various cities, states, and countries or towns in the lucid and or virtual reality dream state. It's like they're just putting me in another reality in these different countries and states and cities in the altered state of consciousness. This morning they took me to Osa, Russia. I did ask for that about 10 days ago, and I also mentioned Australia and some other places. Because I always tell them, well, if you're not going to come to my bedside and pull me out and give me an out-of-body abduction, then just try to give me this awesome, lucid dream or virtual reality dream by taking me to another country and all that, because I figured out that they were doing that many years ago. And they've been doing that all my life. I don't know why they like doing that. They just like taking me to different countries and cities and states and towns. I don't know why they like doing it, but they've been doing it all my life. So they picked Russia. And this morning they took me to Russia. And at the end of the lucid dream, they abruptly woke me up, and I was just like so confused, It was really gnarly. Sometimes they do jar me awake after they give me these awesome experiences. Okay, yeah, so I'm already onto them, so I ask for things of them now, like these types of dreams. I ask for sex, I ask for abductions, and I get all of that. I know it is the reptilians, greys, and human-sounding ETs who are giving me these awesome virtual reality-style dreams. Via these virtual reality lucid dreams, they have taken me to Russia, Brazil, Romania, New York City, Africa, Atlanta, Florida 2 to 3 times, England 3 times, and many other places. When I went to England in the virtual reality dream state about a year ago, I woke up at 10:30 a.m. that morning and I still felt like I was still in England. It is very weird. That virtual reality type of dream's energy stayed with me for many hours later. It is almost like the aliens can alter my 3D reality to where I feel like I'm still in the dream even after I wake up. Now, I have heard other people say that same thing as well after they're giving a virtual reality experience in the altered state. Okay, so this is how this dream went down this morning. The aliens are hilarious. Most of the time, these types of dreams they give me are normal virtual reality types, where it feels like I'm totally in the dream and is more vivid. The Russia dream this morning was clear, lucid, and intricate but more dreamy, which is more rare for me. Maybe because my brain waves were not quite right, and maybe I need to stop drinking decaf coffee since it still has caffeine in it. Caffeine can alter the brain. 2 shots of espresso can probably still have either 45 to 60 milligrams of caffeine. For this dream, the aliens definitely did not use my astral body, because that's one way they create the awesome, super vivid, realistic dreams for me. The virtual reality dreams, actually virtual reality experiences. That's one way they use my astral body. They take it out while I'm totally awake, right when I lay down. And then an hour to several hours later, they create these virtual reality experiences for me. But this morning, It was definitely a dreamy type of dream. So they did not use my astral body, I know, for this intricate dream this morning. One way they give me virtual reality dreams is taking my astral body while awake. That creates a more vivid experience. And I just mentioned that. Here is how my lucid dream started. I started off with some of my family members, mom, sister, grandma, brother, and an American strange family sitting there at a table at lunch in a Russian restaurant. The mom said, "Here are all of my sons." And finally, all the sons came to the table, about 4 of them. Some of the sons looked familiar, and I knew who some of them were. They were just, people that I've seen before, but I don't really know. Well, anyway, the aliens always put anything my brain has seen before in my altered states. I went to the bathroom and was in a stall, and little Chinese girls came up to give me 3 wrapped, colorful gifts. That was just common practice in that restaurant. One of the little baggies had Chinese coins in them. The bathroom had colorful stuff, knickknacks, jewelry hanging from the walls, and ceilings and wind chimes. The ceiling was pretty high. I liked something I wanted up high, and I tried to reach up there to steal it, but didn't. I think okay, hold on. I liked something I wanted up high, and I tried to reach up there to steal it, but didn't think it would fit in my purse. And I did have a hard time reaching the full wind chime, but I was still touching it. I think that makes sense. It was so high, my arm wasn't long enough. I was able to touch it, but I wasn't able to grab it hard enough to pull it down. And anyway, the reptilians, they always make me steal shit in my abductions and my virtual reality scenarios. And they're always sticking me in a damn bathroom. Lots of times. But anyway, I was in this bathroom a long ass time. It seemed like hours and hours and hours. It seemed like 2 or 3 hours I was in this damn bathroom. And at this Russian restaurant in Russia. And like I said, the aliens are always putting me in bathrooms without doors and very narrow door stall entryways. Like that last time when they took me to Romania. I could barely even fit through it didn't have a door to the stall I was in. I could barely fit through the damn entryway of the stall. But anyway, so I was in that bathroom a long time. I remember thinking my family is going to leave me. I was so distracted with all the gnarly stuff that was in the bathroom. My sister finally came for me, and I walked out the door. I asked my sister who paid for lunch. My sister said my brother paid for everybody's lunch, which I was surprised because that family looked rich, so I figured they would pay for it. And my brother is kind of poor. All of these thoughts were, with me in the dream. At one point, the mother asked me if I wanted to clean her house, and I actually went to their house and was outside the restaurant looking at buildings before I got there. It was big, and they were just renting it for their vacation. I remember looking at the laundry room, and it seemed pretty nasty and dusty. I had just, in real life, deep cleaned my house last weekend. The husband was there, but I don't remember him being at the restaurant. I did just deep clean my house last weekend. The aliens used that bit of information. LOL. Finally, the fun begins, the sightseeing, etc. My brother left the dream at this point, and the strange family. My Russia lucid dream starts to get fun, but weird. So this is the next part of the dream. My mom, my sister, and grandma were driving down the street to get to a sightseeing venue, factory, aka factory, where the Russians made natural gas. You guys know what natural gas is? The aliens know I hate smelling any kind of chemical smell or gas smell. When we were going down the street, I remember thinking this still looks like my town and street, Chestnut Expressway Street. It still looked very familiar to me, and I'm thinking, but we were in Russia. The whole last part of the dream totally felt like Russia. I felt like I was totally in Russia. The aliens know how to alter energy to make me feel whatever they want to make me feel. I mean, the way they want me to feel. We finally made it to the outdoor site where the Russians made natural gas in an open, very tall building factory. The factory had no walls, which makes sense. How are you going to make natural gas in an enclosed area? I could see the whole factory from the outside since there were no walls. As my sister, mom, grandma, and me were walking to the site, there was an ocean to my left and right of the big, wide, white street we were walking on. It was cloudy outside, and the street seemed very rocky and dusty with white lime rock. You know how the lime rocks, they make that white, dusty stuff? Here comes one virtual reality scene for me. This was a virtual reality scene, the only one that was in this lucid dream. Except for, I would consider, at the end of the dream when I see those hotels, that was kind of virtual reality too. Yeah, I would say that was as well. Anyway, it all of a sudden got really windy. And the wind was so powerful I couldn't even walk. It was blowing me over to my right. I mean, it was so forceful I couldn't even walk. I kept blowing to the right and was fighting not to blow into the ocean because I was fighting it because I knew I'd blow into the damn water. And that's another thing. The aliens are always putting a lot of water, lakes, water, streams, ponds, pools in my abductions and my virtual reality experiences. The force was unreal. I had a hard time fighting the wind. It did not affect my family. It was just me. The aliens are always doing stuff like that to me, doing things with wind and suppressing my speech, like in the abductions, and not allowing me to kick a ball if I'm trying to play soccer or baseball or basketball. They did that a lot, like all my life. Finally, we were just staring at this tall factory natural gas making facility and staring at the elevator with separate carts attached to the outside that went up and down. The facility was a tourist attraction, basically. And we were the tourists. And the separate carts were for separate families. The carts went up and down. Okay. A Russian woman, blonde hair, about 46, not attractive, pale-skinned. She was very nice, though. Round face and kind of chubby, about 5'6", attended to us. She was the elevator attendant and tour guide for us. She gave me 9 Russian monies and bumper stickers. I held it in my hand and looked on the back side, which was all small green stars. I was thinking, wow, this looked like American money. But, really, it didn't. Not in real life, it really did not look like American money. I asked her what the exchange rate was and asked her, didn't I need to give you some American money? Like $3. I tried to add it up in my head, something that was fair. I had the thought of my American money going a long way in Russia. Because I know it goes a long way in Romania. I don't know about Russia. So I figured $3 for her 9 Russian monies sounded about right. She said no, and that they don't tell us the exchange rate, meaning the government does not tell them. They just don't outwardly tell them the exchange rate. And not to worry about giving, she told me for me not to worry about giving her any money. When I looked down at the bumper sticker, I noticed it said OSA Russia on it. I told her, so you mean like the only way you know the exchange rate is when you go into a bank? Finally, me, mom, sister, and grandma were at the very top of the gas facility in the cart, and I was scared shitless. So was my grandma. She is afraid of elevators in real life, and I do not like those types of heights where I don't feel secure, in real life. I love roller coasters, but I don't like shit like that. And my grandmother in real life, she's very claustrophobic. She doesn't like elevators. Well, neither do I, but I will get into them on, occasion. I felt and had all these thoughts about all this in this dream. The attendant was in the back seat and I gave her the Russian money. So basically, my grandmother was also scared shitless. But anyway, I looked down and was just totally scared shitless. Seemed like I was 100 stories up there, but on the ground looking up, it didn't seem quite so high. It was still pretty high, but once I was up there looking down, it seemed very, very high. And actually that part, I guess, was also virtual reality. So I guess actually there were about 3 virtual reality little scenes in it. At one point, I couldn't see my 91-year-old grandma and thought she fell out. I looked over at her again and there she was. I could just see like her legs. I could only see like just the bottom part of her legs. The aliens, you know what I'm saying? They're ornery. They like to do shit like that. Like, I don't even remember seeing my grandmother's face or anything. Like, all I could see was just barely, like, it's like the aliens blocked all of that out. You know what I'm saying? And just made me see part of her legs. And anyway, she barely weighs 90 pounds in real life. We started to descend in the elevator slowly so we could see the gas-making process. And I did smell a light whiff of it in my dream. Sometimes, they will make you smell odors. You can't, well, actually, that was another part of the virtual reality. But, they did not make it, they have given me smells before that were extreme in these type of lucid dreams, of virtual reality dreams. But, I can't remember right offhand right now because I didn't write those down. But they can give you very, very strong smells. But this time, they made it smell like natural gas, but it was just a very, very light whiff. Just a very light whiff. They did not make it really, really, really strong. They could have if they wanted to. The aliens can control that. So anyway, I smelled the light whiff of it in my, in this dream. We stopped at the first level, just 25 feet below the very top. There were many levels to this gas facility. We stopped at just one level down from the top, so we could see the process. There was a guy standing there that I was observing at his area of expertise, doing his job, looking down at a table type of thingy, moving his fingers around, like he was just at his factory doing his job, making natural gas. I did see a sign that said natural gas in his area. That was kind of over to the left and above him. I couldn't tell you if I remember it actually being on a wall or what the heck, or if it was just kind of like in midair. Then we ascended back to the very top where I looked out beyond the gas factory and saw the beautiful ocean and 3 huge, beautiful hotels that were very close to the ocean and not far from us. And one hotel was bright with colors, with glowing jewels and lights on the outside. I mean, the whole thing just lit up like bright jewels and lights. It was very beautiful. So yeah, that part was virtual reality. It was almost like a casino or something. Like if you go to some casinos, they'll have a bunch of bright lights and stuff outside of the building of the casino. And anyway, it was still cloudy. It was cloudy in this scenario. It was definitely cloudy. The hotel was more wide than it was tall, like a cruise ship. The end. This experience was more of a lucid dream than a virtual reality experience, although it had a few virtual reality elements in it. There are different levels of clarities and vividness for my experiences, and I experienced different clarities between 3 to 4 different types of dreams the aliens give me. Some of my experiences are virtual reality where it feels more real and vivid and realistic and feels like I'm in this experience, but feels still a tad bit dreamy. I like to call those VR-Lucid type of dreams. some of my VRS, I'm totally in the experience where it doesn't feel dreamy whatsoever, and it feels better than 3D, but a lot more vivid. Then I wake up and then I know I really wasn't in 3D. But anyway, yeah, when you start having all these dreams and virtual reality experiences, you know, you'll wake up and you'll be like, wow, that one wasn't quite as virtual reality as some of the others that they gave me. You know, you'll realize all of that. You'll have many, many different types. The Russian dream I had this morning was the lowest of clarity, which is rare for me because normally the aliens give me a lot better dreams than they did this morning. This morning's dream was more dreamy but still clear and intricate. But I can talk about I still pretty much remember every single detail of my Romanian when they took me to my Romanian dream when they took, well, that was more virtual reality than this one. It was more vivid. It was more vivid, more like I was in 3D. But I was still in an altered state. And I still remember pretty much all the details of that, and I'm pretty sure I wrote it down somewhere. Yeah, that was a lot of fun, and my England ones were a lot of fun. The African one, I never did write it down, so I still remember lots of bits and pieces. And of course, there were black people in that scenario. But like I say, a lot of these virtual reality experiences are ass backwards abductions where they take me while awake and then they create the virtual reality experience several hours to 1 hour later. But this morning was not like that. It was definitely more dreamy, dreamy, dreamy. Thanks for listening, and if I write these stories down, I think I could get these videos done faster.